Hello and welcome to the 2025 Division I Wrestling Selection Show. My name is Jeremiah Johnson. One of the most anticipated weekends on the NCAA calendar is almost here. This year's event will be held in the city of brotherly love, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, with matches contested at the Wells Fargo Center. This is the show where we once again announce the brackets for each of the 10 weight classes, with conference championships in the books and at-large selections announced Monday. You already know if you are in, but it is time to take a look at your path to a championship. And nobody we would rather have help set the field and fire you up for the championships than wrestling broadcaster Shane Sparks. He joins me now. Shane, great to see you. I know you're smiling. You're giddy with enthusiasm and excitement. What are the top one or two storylines that you are looking forward to following for this year's event?
For me, Jeremiah, one thing that really stands out, we have 4 weight classes where there are multiple national champions. It's a very deep field. As always, it's about surviving and advancing. It's March Madness. It's a celebration of our great sports. You have 330 guys. It's really tough to get to this point. So I applaud everybody that's made it. And now we'll decide 80 All-Americans, 10 national champions. This is about legacy. It's always about getting your name on that wall, representing your name, your family, your program. I love these 3 days in March.
I cannot wait to hear what Shane has to say about each of the 10 weight classes. We'll also take a peek into the team title race a little bit towards the end of the show. Again, the team champion will be crowned Penn State, your defending champion. Penn State has won 11 of the last 13 championships held, and I'm guessing there will be a lot of Nittany Lions fans in Philadelphia for that championship weekend. Shane, let's get right into the brackets, and we will show you the entire weight class at one time, all program long. One time we will start here with 125 pounds. Now in 2024, Richard Figueroa, an 8 seed, won the title with a 7-2 decision over Iowa's Drake Ayala. The 1 seed in this bracket is Luke Lillidahl. You'll hear a lot about Penn State wrestlers on this show. He's a true freshman. Lillidahl got the Nittany Lions going in the Big Ten Championships, where he defeated the conference's top seed Matt Ramos in the semifinals before a hard-fought 4-3 win over Nebraska's Caleb Smith in the finals. Again, Luke is the number 1 seed at 125. The number 4 seed is Vince Robinson of NC State, another tremendous freshman. 18-2, 7-2 against ranked competition. After redshirting last season, the Chicago native Robinson finished runner-up at the ACC Championships. The 8th seed wanted to spotlight Sheldon Seymour of Lehigh, one of 4 individual champs for Lehigh, propelling them to their first EIWA team title in 4 years. A 5th-year wrestler, Seymour started Lehigh's conference meet strong with a 6-0 decision over Army's Charlie Farmer to claim first. So Shane, another look at the bracket. What do you think about 125?
You mentioned, Jeremiah, the potential semifinal match with Lillidahl and Robinson. Both those guys are lightning quick. It'd be really entertaining, but a lot would have to happen for that to play out. Perhaps a quarterfinal with Robinson. As you mentioned, national champion Richie Figueroa of Arizona State. That'd be a good match to watch. Thursday night, we could see Figueroa versus Dean Peterson. He's a very dangerous 12 seed. The EIWA champion Sheldon Seymour and All-American Caleb Smith may meet up on Thursday night. On that bottom half, Matt Ramos, he's been fantastic all season. Just the one loss, as you mentioned, to the top seed Luke Lillidahl of Penn State. Ramos, if you remember, 2023 national runner-up. He pinned Spencer Lee in the semifinals. Ramos can score a lot of points. He's got that experience to navigate this bottom half. Eddie Van Treska, an All-American in 2023, placing 7th. He's your ACC champion. And Ramos, one quick note on him. He won the Cliff Keenan Vegas back in December. He had wins over Van Treska and Spratley. The Boilermaker may have to beat those guys if he reaches the final at 125 pounds. It's always a fun weight class. I don't figure it to be any different here in 2025.
Great work, Shane. Let us move on to 133, where we will once again have a new champion. Vito Arujau won his 2nd national title in 2024 at 133 pounds. As you see, the top seed in the upper left-hand corner of the page, it is Lucas Bird of Illinois. Now, he beat Drake Ayala in the Big Ten championships. Bird is the second Illinois wrestler to win the conference at 133, the program's 79th conference champion overall. Bird lost to Ayala in January, got a little bit of payback over the weekend. I've mentioned Drake Ayala's name a couple of different times on this program. Out of Iowa, he is the 2 seed, the national runner-up at 125 in 2024, the Big Ten runner-up at 133 last weekend. 8-2 record against ranked opponents, including victories over number 2 Lucas Bird and number 5 Evan Frost at the time. Drake was a highly decorated high school wrestler, a 3-time Iowa state champion. The 3 seed in this bracket is Nasir Bailey of Little Rock, a repeat Pac-12 champion at 133 pounds. Also shared conference wrestler of the meet honors with teammate Jordan Williams. A good time to shout out the Little Rock program. 6 years ago, their first Pac-12 championships, they finished last. Now they are team champions. Bailey, the first Trojan wrestler to be Pac-12 Wrestler of the Week twice in 1 year of competition. And also, the 11th seed is Evan Frost of Iowa State, one of 8 Iowa State wrestlers set to compete in Philadelphia. An at-large selection, the sophomore is 19-4, had won 12 consecutive matches entering the conference championships, 7-3 against ranked foes this season, and owns 12 bonus point victories. Shane, good job there on your breakdown of 125. What do you think about the contenders here at 133?
Top half of this bracket, Braxton Brown and Braden Davis may meet in round 2. Davis was the number 1 seed last year at 125 pounds for Penn State. Davis beat Brown 9-7 at the Big Tens. The winner could see Bird in the quarterfinals. The Big 12 champion Dominic Serrano and Seth Romney could be another quarterfinal. The top half also has the 13 seed Tyler Knox. He beat Iowa's Drake Ayala inside Carver Hawkeye Arena back in November. Nick Bouzakis on this bottom half, a super dangerous number 7 seed for Ohio State. The Buckeye and All-American Dylan Chauver would be a good scrap in round 2. Drake Ayala may be waiting in the quarterfinals. How about this, Jeremiah? 2-time All-American Kai Arini, he is the most dangerous 26 seed you will ever find. Arini and Bouzakis would be a first-round matchup. All eyes will be on that mat. ACC champion Connor McGonigal and All-American Evan Frost would be a very entertaining Thursday night matchup with a possible meeting with All-American and 2-time Pac-12 champion Nasir Bailey, as you talked about in the quarterfinals. Ayala and Bailey have never met. I love 133 pounds. Let's go.
All right, 2 down, 8 to go. Let's look at the bracket for 141. In 2024, Ohio State's Jesse Mendez was the number 1 seed and made that seed hold up. What have you got here? The number 1 seed is Brock Hardy. We're going to shine a spotlight on the 2 seed, Bo Bartlett of Penn State. He was also the 2 seed in last year's championships, finished runner-up, falling to Mendez. Bartlett, though, beat Mendez 4-2 over the weekend in the Big Ten third-place match. Bartlett also won the regular season match against Mendez. I know Shane loves it when these two wrestle against each other. Another wrestler to spotlight, Vance Vombar of Minnesota. The 4 seed in the Big Ten championships knocked off the top seed Bo Bartlett in the semifinals. A runner-up there gives Vombar momentum this weekend, as it was the Gophers' best finish at that weight at the Big Tens since 2011. Vombar gained valuable experience in last year's championships. He was seeded 26th and finished 8th, an All-American. Shane, I know you have a lot to share about this weight class.
A bracket, 141 pounds, 2-time All-American and Big Ten champion Brock Hardy. He's that number 1 seed, as you mentioned. Very impressive run in Evanston in claiming that Big Ten title. He was 3rd last season, and he enters Philly with a record of 23-3. Hardy could see 2023 national champion Andrew Aliris in the quarterfinals. Big 12 champion Cale Happel and EIWA champion Josh Coderhot, maybe another quarterfinal in that top half. Happel beat Hardy in their dual meet in early January. You mentioned Jesse Mendez, the Buckeyes 25-3 on the season. Both those losses to Bartlett. This would be a great battle once again with Mendez and Bartlett. I think it might be the sport's best rivalry. But first, Vombar and Mendez could be a quarterfinal. Mendez beat the Gopher in sudden victory earlier this season. Big 12 runner-up Tegan Jamieson and Bartlett, another potential quarterfinal. Just so much firepower in the bottom half of 141 pounds. This is going to be a lot of fun to watch this sort itself out.
All right, let's take a look now at 149. Virginia Tech's Caleb Henson was the top wrestler here last season. Shane will share more on his accolades shortly. I do want to recommend, though, the Caleb Henson National Title documentary produced by Virginia Tech Athletics. Some great content available on the internet for some of these wrestlers. Now, the third seed is Shane Van Ness of Penn State. Finished third of the Big Ten Championships. Sweet return to the championships after missing most of last season due to a medical redshirt. As a freshman in 2023, Van Ness posted a 5-1 mark to become freshman All-American, third place at 149. Moving on, the 4th seed in this weight class is Paniro Johnson of Iowa State. 2 straight Big 12 titles for Johnson thanks to a come-from-behind win, a 5-4 decision in the final. He is the 39th two-time conference champion in school history and a 4-time Pennsylvania high school state medalist. The 5 seed is Kyle Parko from Iowa. Fell to Van Ness in the 3rd place match at the Big Ten Championships. Nice record though, 20-3, 13-3 against ranked opponents. A 4-time All-American, the former Fresno State and Arizona State wrestler was named Big Ten Wrestler of the Week in early January and also a champion at the Soldier Salute. The 8th seed, want to mention Jordan Williams, former star at Oklahoma State, doing a great job with Little Rock. Williams, one of 5 Trojans to win individual titles at the Pac-12 Championships. Little Rock's first ever conference crown, ranked 5th in the latest opponent open mat ranking. So Shane, time to pull the string. Time to let you go to work for 149.
I cannot wait, JJ, to get to Philadelphia and watch these fights at 149 pounds. 2-time All-American Caleb Henson, that #1 seed, the Hokie, the returning national champ at this weight class, now a 2-time ACC champ, undefeated 18-0 record, including a win over Nebraska's Ridge Lovitz in Vegas. If it played out, that quarterfinal with Johnson and Parko would be a fun match. Parko beat the Cyclone in sudden victory back in January of 2023. Also, top half of the bracket, the #9 seed, Ivy League champion Cross Wazalewski of Penn. Ridge Lovett, that #2 seed, picked up his 2nd Big Ten title. The Cornhusker, 6th a year ago. He was a national finalist in 2022, just the 2 losses this season. A possible 7-10 Thursday night matchup with Big Ten runner-up Cannon Webster and Big 12 runner-up Colin Rilbuto. That could lead to a quarterfinal with Lovett. Lovett beat Webster to win that Big Ten title. And a possible quarterfinal with All-Americans Shane Van Ness and Lachlan McNeil. That could set up a path to Lovett in the semis. Lovett beat the Nittany Lion Van Ness earlier this season in the dual meet. 149 pounds, a highly explosive weight class.
Next up, the 157-pound weight class. Some incredible athletes competing here. Levi Haynes, your defending champion at 157. We will see his name in a little bit later in the program. Moving up 2 weight classes, so that opens the door for a new champion in this weight class. And yes, top left-hand corner of the screen, a #1 next to a Penn State wrestler. It is Tyler Kasak, the 157-pound Big Ten champion after a 12-2 win over Ohio State's Brandon Cannon. Rolled to his first Big Ten title with that decision. Kasak went 3-0 with a pin and a major at the Big Tens. And yes, now a Big Ten champion with a 17-1 overall record. The 9th seed, wanted to mention Tommy Askey of Minnesota, 5th in the Big Ten Championships, 23-5 record this season, 90-35 career record, a 5th-year wrestler. Tommy was the SoCon champion and automatic NCAA qualifier in both 2023 and 2024 while wrestling at Appalachian State. And the 22 seed in this bracket, Ed Scott, North Carolina State, 2nd at the ACC Championships, the senior sports day career record of 82-24 with 19 falls. He was The ACC champion back in 2022, making his fourth NCAA championship appearance, was named All-American in 2023, and in high school, undefeated 79-0 as a junior and senior. Shane, another stacked bracket.
This bracket has some grit. It begins with Tyler Kasak. A year ago, down at 149 pounds, he was a true freshman, lost in the first round, and then won 7 straight matches to finish third. It was an amazing run for him in this weight class. Potential second-round matchup with Askey and Joey Blaze. Blaze beat Askey in sudden victory at the Big Tens. These guys could see Kasak in the quarters. A possible quarterfinal with ACC champion Rafael Hippolito and Big Ten runner-up Brandon Cannon. That one really intrigues me. Couple of redshirt freshmen that have been really, really good. Kasak beat Cannon 12-2 in the Big Ten final. He did not wrestle Hippolito this season. On that bottom half, you talk about slick, you talk about dynamic, you are talking about All-American Meyer Shapiro. He was third last year, missed some time due to injury this season. 2-time conference champion. He is super dangerous. Big 12 champion Vinny Zerbin could be a possible quarterfinal for Shapiro. All-American Antrell Taylor down at 157 after placing last year at 165. The 3 seed for Nebraska, over 20 wins for the Cornhusker this season. Ryder Downey may get Taylor in the semis. The Panther knocked off Taylor in sudden victory in early January. And you mentioned Ed Scott, that number 22 seed. Don't sleep on Ed Scott. This guy's been in the blood round 3 times. He cracked it 1 time, as you mentioned, as an All-American. Ed Scott, a 22 seed. That says it all at 157.
All right, Shane, take a drink of water. We are halfway home on this program. The field is stacked at 165. David Carr won his second national title in 2024. This is already the third bracket out of 6, where the number 1 seed is a wrestler from Penn State. Number 1 next to the name Mitchell Messenbrink. Top seed defeated Michael Caliendo in the Big Ten final 3-1. This is Messenbrink's second Big Ten title, and for the season, still unbeaten now, 22-0 with 21 bonus point wins. You see some footage on your screen. Michael Caliendo of Iowa is the 3 seed in this bracket. Hopes to get one more shot at Messenbrink in Philadelphia. His runner-up finish at the Big Ten Championships and spectacular season earns that 3 seed that I mentioned, 11-2 against ranked competitors with 4 wins over top 10 opponents. A champion at the Soldier Salute as well. He recorded 16 bonus point victories, including 11 technical falls and 1 pin. Bo Mantanona of Michigan is the 6th seed, continuing our video highlights with a Big Ten theme. He, just a redshirt freshman, came to Ann Arbor from Palm Desert High School in California, captured the California Interscholastic Federation State 150 title as a senior, finished 3rd in the Big Ten Championships. And before we get to Shane's expertise, shout out to Hunter Garvin of Stanford, an All-American in 2024 after finishing 6th. This is an improvement from his seeding of 20th. Now a 7 seed in his return appearance. Garvin will go down in Stanford wrestling history. The first ACC individual champion in school history. It's the 50th individual conference title by a Stanford wrestler all time. So Shane, what stands out to you about this field at 165?
It begins with the number 1 seed, Mitchell Messenbrink, a tech fall machine. This guy, Jeremiah, exhausts the scoreboard. Potential quarterfinal with Cam Amin. Messenbrink beat Amin twice at last year's national tournament when Amin was at Michigan. Amin, though, would first have to get past possibly the electric Cam Steed of Missouri. Julian Ramirez looking to get on the podium after 3 straight years falling in the blood round. A match with the 12 seed Chris Minto could be interesting. The 4 seed is former Nittany Lion Terrell Barraclaw, now at Utah Valley. Former teammates Messenbrink and Barraclaw may meet in the semifinal. 2-time All-American Peyton Hall. He is coming off a Big 12 title. His only loss is to Barraclaw back in early February. He's been spectacular for Tim Flynn and the Mountaineers. You mentioned that ACC champion Hunter Garvin. Him and Andrew Sparks of Minnesota may hit on Thursday night. Hall beat Garvin 12-7 en route to the Clip King title in Vegas. Those two a potential semifinal. You talked about Mikey Caliendo. He's another guy that scores a ton of points, lights up the scoreboard. He's been impressive all season long, racking up those bonus point victories. Messenbrink, he's been a wrecking ball all season long. He'll be extremely tough to beat. He is now 5-0 the last 2 years against the Hawkeye Caliendo.
All right, rolling right along, we'll take a peek at 174. We will also have a new champion in this weight class. Four-time defending champ Carter Starachi's quest for a fifth title. That'll take place at 184, so stay tuned for more on Carter. Undefeated Missouri wrestler Keegan O'Toole is the number 1 seed. How about we show you some highlights of 2 seed Levi Haynes of Penn State. Won his 3rd Big Ten title over the weekend. His first 2 came at 157. Now the clincher, a 12-1 major decision over Nebraska's Lenny Pinto. Haynes, a national champ last season at 157, as we mentioned earlier, 20-1 overall this season. That lone loss in December to Keegan O'Toole, who we will hear about from Shane shortly. The 6th seed in this weight class is Brevin Casella of Binghamton, one of the co-outstanding wrestlers of the EIWA championships. Perseverance and hard work paying off for the top Bearcat. In that conference championship, he finished 8th place in 2021, 5th in 2022, 4th in 2023, 3rd in 2024, and this past weekend made it to the top step on the podium. And the 14 seed wanted to recognize Maddie Singleton, NC State, the ACC champion, stepped to the top of the podium after taking out the number 1, 3, and 5 seeds in that bracket. Singleton, just a sophomore, redshirted last season, competed as a freshman at 165. So I've teased this breakdown. Shane, what can you tell us about Keegan O'Toole?
Keegan O'Toole, 4-time All-American, just captured his 4th conference title in exciting fashion, beating Dean Hamady in sudden victory. The 2-time national champion, undefeated for Brian Smith and the Tigers this season. A possible Big Ten matchup with Lenny Pinto and Carson Hartzlaw may set up a quarterfinal with O'Toole, while MAC champion Garrett Thompson and Ivy League champ Simon Ruiz are the 4 and 5 seeds. O'Toole has a win over Levi Haynes earlier this season. That was in sudden victory. Dean Hamady has been spectacular in his first season in Stillwater after claiming a Big Ten title and All-American honors at Wisconsin, then down at 165. His only losses to O'Toole, that was in that Big 12 final. Danny Wask, the EIWA runner-up, is the 7 seed. He might have Haynes in the quarters. Haynes and Hamady have never met. That semifinal, Jeremiah, would be worth the price of admission. 174, another weight class with multiple national champions.
All right, 184, I mentioned a lot of eyes, a lot of attention around the sports world will be on this weight class. I mentioned Carter Starachi going to be a force at 184. The drive for 5. Parker Keckeisen is your defending champion, but how about we show you some highlights of Carter. Penn State, the last time Carter Starachi lost a match, non-injury forfeit, way back in January of 2021. A 4-time national champion, hoping to complete an undefeated season at 184. A come-from-behind win, though, in the Big Ten championships, and as Shane said on that BTN broadcast, winners win. One of 5 Penn State wrestlers to win Big Ten championships over the weekend. The 3rd seed, a familiar face for Starachi, is Max McAnally. Redshirt freshman from Minnesota, gave the legend everything he wanted in those Big Ten championships. Starachi, again, eventually prevailed. That was McAnally's first loss of the season. The 5 seed is Bennett Berge of South Dakota State, 4th in the 2024 championships, an event he entered as the 9 seed. He won 5 consecutive Minnesota high school state titles in 5 different weight classes. Listen to this, in high school went from 138 to 160 to 170 to 182 to 195. That is great work. Also an NWCA Scholar, All-American. So Shane, the floor is yours.
This weight class blows my mind, Jeremiah. You mentioned it with Carter Starachi, his quest to become the first ever Division I 5-time national champion. He's the most competitive guy I have ever seen on the Resolite. He is 101. He's a big-time level of toughness, grit, heart, perseverance, unwavering confidence. But this bracket has some great talent, including the number 4 seed Dustin Plotz. Plott fell to Keckheisen in the national finals at this weight class last March. A possible Heller-Smith matchup Thursday night may set up a quarterfinal match with Starachi. The 4-time All-American Parker Keckheisen just won his 5th Big 12 title. Keckheisen is the returning national champion here at 184. He had that great title run last March in Kansas City. He bonused his way to the top of the podium, finished undefeated. He's undefeated once again for Doug Schwab and that Panther train. Keckheisen could oppose the outstanding redshirt freshman Max McAnally in the semis. All-Americans Chris Foca and Edmund Ruth also loom on the bottom half of this bracket. Starachi and Keckheisen, they wrestled in the NWCA All-Star Classic. That was an exhibition match back in November. Starachi won it in sudden victory. To see these new national champions go at it one more time, Starachi and Keckheisen would be next level tension. I'd love to see it.
Get your tickets, get your popcorn for that potential match. Now, just 2 weight classes remain. At 197, Penn State's Aaron Brooks won his 4th straight national championship in 2024. He has moved on, giving everyone else a little bit of a chance in this weight class. Once again, a tremendous amount of Big Ten flavor with the top seeds in this bracket. The number 1 seed out of Michigan, Jacob Cardenas. An EIWA champ in 2023 at Cornell, claimed his first Big Ten title over the weekend. He earned the top spot, knocking off the 1 and 2 seed in that Big Ten bracket. A sweet Big Ten meet for Cardenas, who avenged his only loss this season. That was to Josh Barr, and became Michigan's 132nd Big Ten champion. Stephen Buchanan, Iowa, likely would have a 1 next to his name if not for that only loss this season to Cardenas at the Big Ten championships. Buchanan led Iowa's team in overall wins 21, dual wins 15, and dual points scored 69. Also a Soldier Salute champion. How about this name? AJ Ferrari is fast. Cal State Bakersfield, the 2021 national champion at 197 while wrestling at Oklahoma State. Ferrari at the time became just the 3rd true freshman in Oklahoma State history to win a national championship. Now is one of 3 Roadrunners to qualify for the championships. Ferrari gave Bakersfield its first Pac-12 crown since 2021. And I mentioned this name, Josh Barr of Penn State. Can the dominance for this school at 197 continue? The redshirt freshman has a shot. Was the 2 seed in the Big Ten championships, and it's worth watching his health. Was injured in the Big Ten championships, took a medical forfeit in the 5th place match. Barr enters the NCAAs with a 16-3 overall record. And the 5 seed, Michael Beard of Lehigh, one of those Mountain Hawk individual winners at the EIWA championships. Lehigh celebrated the team title for the 39th time in program history. Beard scored the first 4 takedowns of the championship match over Bucknell's Dylan Bechtold, propelling him to a 14-8 decision. He shared the coach's trophy as the tournament's most outstanding wrestler. Enters the championships with a 20-1 record. Another great weight class here. Shane, what have you got?
Yes, it is, JJ. Michael Beard may have to get through All-American Stephen Little before a potential quarterfinal with Josh Barr. Barr beat both Beard and Little earlier this season in December. 2-time All-American Trey Munoz is also on the top half of that bracket. The bottom half, with Buchanan and Ferrari, really sets the tone for this bracket. One potential matchup we could see on Thursday night is with brothers Mac and Luke Stout, the 6 and 11 seeds. That would be wild. The Big 12 champion Wyatt Volker is the 7 seed, and All-American Isaiah Salazar is the 10 seed. Ferrari and Buchanan have met twice in their careers. Ferrari won both those matches, but their most recent bout was all the way back in December of 2021. Another quick note when looking at Stephen Buchanan of Iowa. The Hawkeyes have had a national finalist every year since 1990. That is 34 consecutive tournaments. Buchanan might be that guy to run that streak to 35. What a streak for Iowa.
Last but certainly not least, you might want to have your eyes focused on the top left-hand corner of the screen and the bottom right-hand, or I should say top right-hand corner of the screen. Really, 1, 2, 3, 4 outstanding, but the 1 seed is Gable Steveson of Minnesota, the 19th Big Ten wrestler to win 4 conference tournament titles, just the second ever from Minnesota. Never satisfied. Said after winning with 3 takedowns in the title match, he wants more takedowns. Again, the 19th Big Ten wrestler to win those 4 titles and just the second ever from Minnesota. He's a legend. He's a champion. 2-time national champion. I know Shane has more on Gable. Greg Kirkvliet, Penn State, is the 3 seed, so these two could meet in the finals. The defending national champion at 285 did fall to Steveson in those Big Ten championships. A 4-time All-American. Finished 7th, 4th, and runner-up in the championships before breaking through last season. Would be some matchup if we saw Kirkvliet and Steveson. The 4 seed is Owen Treffin of Lehigh, a 4 seed in the bracket, thanks in part to a 7-1 decision over Binghamton's Corey Day in the heavyweight finals. 2-time ACC champion, NCAA qualifier while wrestling for NC State, a grad student now at Lehigh. In high school, a 2-time national prep champion, 2017 South Carolina State champion. Now, Shane, I know you had the call of that Steveson-Kirkvliet match on the Big Ten Network over the weekend. Incredible. Go.
Yeah, these are 2 of the all-time greats. Of course, it starts with, I believe, the greatest heavyweight to ever toe the Resolite in Gable Steveson, the Olympic champion. He has now won 66 consecutive matches. That is second in program history behind another great heavyweight in Cole Conrad at Minnesota. His last loss was back at the national tournament to Anthony Cassar in March of 2019. That is 6 years ago. In a quarterfinal, Steveson may match up against 4-time All-American and 4-time Pac-12 champion Colton Schultz. The Gopher beat the Sun Devil to claim his 2nd title back in 2021. Owen Treffin, as you said, the 4 seed, undefeated for Lehigh. We may see that Mountain Hawk in Ben Keeter, 3rd at the Big Tens in a Friday quarterfinal. All-Americans Yaroslav Slavakovsky and Nick Feldman added to the talent in that top half of the bracket. And you mentioned it with Greg Kirkvliet. Phenomenal in his own right. Before that loss to Gable Steveson in the Big Tens, he had won 38 straight. He's a 3-time Big Ten finalist. He's a 2-time national finalist. En route to that 2023 national final, he beat Wyatt Henriksen, then at the Air Force Academy. Now Henriksen, he's been great under David Taylor at Oklahoma State. His first season with the Cowboys, 2-time All-American, won the Big 12. That is a matchup a lot of us wrestling fans are dying to see, Kirkvliet and Henriksen. The ACC champion, Dayton Pitzer, he's the 10th seed. May see him and Isaac Trumbull on Thursday night. Pitzer beat Trumbull at the ACCs. That winner may get Henriksen in the quarters. Josh Heinzelman, he's had a really nice season at Michigan. The Wolverine and Jimmy Mullen could square off, and then that could get the 3-seed Kirkvliet in the quarterfinals. Gavin Hoffman, in this tournament, we're always looking for great stories. Gavin Hoffman, an example of that back in 2022, then at Ohio State down at 197. He had a great run to the podium as an All-American. Steveson and Kirkvliet now have met 3 times in college. Steveson has won all 3. I've always said it when you look at heavyweights here in 2025, Jeremiah, these are not your father's heavyweights. I mean, these are well-oiled machines, phenomenal combination of strength, speed, and athleticism.
Well said, Shane. You've seen now the brackets for all 10 weight classes. A lot of Shane's analysis focused on, obviously, the individual champions that will be crowned. But let's discuss the team title. Penn State was 100 points clear of second place in 2024. With all of those Penn State names we've seen discussed today, Cael Sanderson's team, they look pretty tough once again.
We're back in Philadelphia for the first time since 2011. That was the year Cael Sanderson and Penn State won their second national title in program history. First under Cael Sanderson. All they've done since then is win 11 of 13. So Penn State, the heavy favorite, of course. Some big horsepower coming in from the Big Ten as well with Nebraska, Iowa, Minnesota, Ohio State. David Taylor has done a phenomenal job in his first season in Stillwater with Oklahoma State. They won the Big 12. I cannot rave enough about the job Doug Schwab has done at Northern Iowa. The Panthers are on a hunt for a trophy. Tony Roby and Virginia Tech, the ACC champions, really solid team. And Matt Gray and Cornell, really good team as well. They will be in the mix for a team trophy. I'm really looking forward to the team race as well.
I'm looking forward to seeing how many selfies wrestling fans take with Shane Sparks in Philadelphia. I know you're looking forward to this event. It's got to be the highlight of your entire year.
It's so much fun, and the longer I'm around this sport, Jeremiah, I just have such a deep appreciation for every one of these athletes. As I said at the start of the show, to make this national tournament is an incredible accomplishment, and I think it's just such a reflection of the support staff around these amazing young men. And now it's time to hand out some hardware. Let's rock and roll.
Once again, thank you very much, Shane. Congratulations to all 330 wrestlers who saw their name on this screen that will be headed to Philadelphia for the 2025 Division I Wrestling Championships. Again, it'll be held March 20th through the 22nd at the Wells Fargo Center. The prelims get underway Thursday the 20th at noon. Semifinals and wrestlebacks will be Friday night, March 21st at 8 p.m. and those championship finals Saturday night, March 22nd at 7 p.m. My name is Jeremiah Johnson. Again, thank you so much to Shane Sparks and congratulations to all of the participants. Looking forward to competing in the 2025 Wrestling Championships.
I teach the art of fanology, a job I take seriously. As to the question of nature versus nurture, is a fan born or is a fan made? I know this. Our game can make a fan out of anyone. And at Fandom U, we take it to a whole new level. The NCAA Championships. Attendance is encouraged, passion is mandatory. Buy your seats today at ncaa.com/tickets. Class dismissed.